Zone Zero regulations are coming. What are they? That's what we're here to talk about. Hello everyone, my name is Chris. I'm here with Zone Zero California. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the podcast. This is a new series that I'm launching here to start spreading the word, to inform and educate people about the new upcoming Zone Zero regulations that are set to most likely be published here in the next month. Right now it is February. And I am just making this content because I'm seeing a lot of confusion out there about this. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of anger, to be quite honest, about these new regulations and what they mean for people in California. So that's what we're here to talk about. As you can see here behind me, now for those of you who might just be listening, I am in downtown Palisades, Pacific Palisades, or what is left of it, as you can see. These old historic buildings have been burned and hollowed out. There's a lot of construction taking place here, so the rebuilding is beginning, but there's still a long way to go. Again, if you're just listening, we're going to be driving around, adding footage of the construction and of the numerous empty lots still only fenced in with some temporary chain link fence and have yet to begin construction. Now the good news is things are progressing, like I mentioned. You're going to see a lot of houses going up here. Still a lot more to be built, but nevertheless, things are progressing. Perhaps not at a rate that a lot of people would like to see, and we're going to talk about that. So, again, my name's Chris. This is the Zone Zero podcast, the Zone Zero California YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date on the news, updates, as this thing progresses, please subscribe. I'm just kind of out here today, being a little spontaneous, freestyling this. This is something I've wanted to do for a while, and I just wanted to finally get started. So here we are. So what is Zone Zero regulations? What are they about? Well, let me get out my notes here. I'd like to actually go through the history of the Zone Zero regulations to give you guys an idea of like how this came to be and where it's headed. Okay. So of course, this is in response to wildfires. Right? And as we go through this history, you'll get a better sense of the idea here, right? Because now we know the term Zone Zero, or perhaps you're just hearing it for the first time and you found this channel or this podcast. So let's just kind of go back to where this begins, all right? It all goes back to defensible space. Based on, the numerous wildfires California has had, and quite honestly will continue to have. It's just part of the environment and part of the lifestyle, for lack of a better term, here in California, in certain parts at least. So, up until about 2008, some notable fires include the 1991 Oakland Hills fire. That destroyed 3,000 homes, over 3,000 homes. And then in 2003, there was a Cedar fire in San Diego, and that burned over 2,800 structures. And that began growing development in what's known as the Wildland Urban Interface, or WUI. One thing you're going to discover here, perhaps because the state regulation is so heavily involved with this, there's going to be a lot of acronyms. So that's another thing that'll be part of this education process for us all, is getting to know these acronyms and what they mean. So the first one we come across here is WUI, Wildland Urban Interface. Essentially what that is it's where human development, urban development meets the wildlands, right? And when there's a wildfire in the middle of the mountains, the hills, far away from civilization, far away from any kind of cities or towns, it's almost a natural process, right? We might forgive it for that reason. But the issue is that as development grows, as populations grow, as cities grow, urban development grows, the development zones have started to overlap with these natural wildfire areas. And so that's what the WUI refers to. It refers to the Wildland Urban Interface. So that's places like, as you can imagine here in the Palisades, right? Before all of this was developed and it was just blank, empty, open country air and forest, if there was a fire here, which I'm certain in its many thousand-year history, if it was, in the days of the Native Americans and the first people in California, they always knew that there were certain places, like right now, right, this would be considered part of entering the Santa Monica sort of mountain range, which has what's known to have a Mediterranean climate, that these wildfires were a natural occurring process, right? Perhaps not with the frequency, but certainly with the intensity, but nevertheless they happened. And they've always been known to happen because of the natural climate, the temperatures and you know, the winds and the types of brush and things that grow here. It's just a natural, wildfires are a natural part of the process. Again, maybe not with the degree or severity or reoccurrence, but nevertheless, they've always historically have happened and will continue to happen, as I mentioned. So what changed? Okay, in 2008, they created the Very High Fire Hazard Severity Zones, or VHFHSZ for short. Again, there's another acronym. Again, there's going to be many more coming along here. But okay, this gives you an idea of now what they developed, right? What did they develop? They identified areas where there's a very high fire hazard severity, right? And so they began to map it, all right? And so SB 1369 passed in 2004, which created the CAL FIRE mapping, which took place and was completed around 2007, 2008, according to my notes here, right? So CAL FIRE classified areas as moderate, high, and very high. Hence your VHFHSZ, Very High Fire Hazard Severity Zone. Acronyms. All right, so now these maps became the legal trigger for stricter fire regulations. So once they identified these areas, stricter regulations started to be put in place to help protect, to help mitigate damage, to help anticipate damage, right? And to reduce the impact, therefore, of the fires in these very high fire hazard severity zones identified by CAL FIRE. So this was, in essence, the very first step, or it created the regulatory backbone for future Zone 0 expansion, which is what we'll get to here. So then there was the existing defensible space laws, right? So before Zone 0 was formalized, California law required that what they identified as Zone 1 and Zone 2. So Zone 1 was the 0 to 30 feet surrounding any structure, and then Zone 2 was the 30 to 100 feet. And this is all in reference to defensible space. What does that mean, right? It is essentially the space you are required as a homeowner, property manager, to be aware of and comply with certain types of building and landscaping things in order to help protect the possibility of your property or home succumbing to any kind of fire damage in the event of a fire, right? So in Zone 1, they had what was called lean, clean, and green. And in Zone 2, right, this was known as the reduced fuel zone. So lean, clean, and green, as you can imagine, it's a nice little way of saying, hey, you shouldn't have much. It should be, you know, free of loose debris that could be considered flammable, like no dried leaves collecting. And then if you're going to have any landscaping, it should be green landscaping, meaning, from what I understand, it should be like things that aren't easily flammable, right? Like not your dry mulch, for example, right? If you're going to have grass, make sure it's green, make sure it's watered. This reduces its ability to catch and stay on fire, right? However, the 0 to 5 foot area immediately adjacent to structures was not clearly identified at that time. And so many home ignitions occurred from the embers landing right next to the structure. Again, if you have dried grass, the embers land on the grass, that grass is next to your home, the chances of that grass catching fire and thus catching your home on fire greatly increased. So this is when the research shift began, right? They started identifying ember storms and the relationship to ember storms with structures igniting, all right? And this is sort of like colloquially 2010 to 2018, right? There were some major fires like the 2017 Tubbs fire, the 2018 Camp fire, and the 2018 Woolsey fire. So what was the key discovery? Homes were often igniting from wooden fences attached to houses, mulch against the siding, deck boards, and debris in the first 5 feet surrounding the structure, right? So fire scientists and IBHS research, pardon me, identified this quote-unquote home ignition zone, and that concept led to focus on this first 5 feet, right? And so that led to the legislative creation of Zone Zero. Assembly Bill 3074 was passed in 2020, signed into law in 2020, I should say. And it directed CAL FIRE and the Board of Forestry to develop new ember-resistant standards, specifically for the first 0 to 5 feet around any structure. And this is where the term Zone Zero formally enters regulatory language. And so from 2023 to 2024, there has been a cycle of proposed implementation rules taking place, excuse me. So the proposed Zone Zero requirements in the draft rules, right? First of all, it really kind of only applies to homes in the very high fire hazard severity zone, or the VHFHSZ. And it states within 0 to 5 feet, within the 0 to 5 feet surrounding a structure, right? There must be no combustible mulch, no attached wood fencing, no combustible ground cover, no firewood storage, no combustible planters, and non-combustible hardscape is preferred, gravel, concrete, pavers, etc. So, and this is also when enforcement began to play a role, right? And initially it was targeted only at either new construction or major remodels. And then they had plans to eventually phase this in to all homes, all existing homes, all right? But there's been some delays in this implementation, right? So the original deadline, I believe, was December 31st of 2025. But now here in February of 2026, we know that these rules were postponed. So we're expecting them to finally, maybe, be published next month in March. At least that's according to the most recent news that I was able to find. Okay, so the Board of Forestry delayed these final rules, the adoption of these final rules, because there were a lot of concerns. Where did these concerns come from? They came from the community. They came from folks out there like you. Maybe you're a homeowner, maybe you're a property manager, right? So now there's new regulatory enforcement requiring you to spend money, right? To what? Replace your old wood fences and gates, to replace your landscaping, right? So these cost burdens, especially in current economic times, right, are something that homeowners were pushing back on, right? There's also been political resistance, probably, you know, as a mechanism or as a result of the homeowners, right, of the constituents. Now, insurance instability also set in, right? We had numerous reports of people not being able to get their homeowners insurance renewed, or they were getting denied coverage, right? Until they, adopted some of these new building standards. And so there was also some clarification needed on retrofitting requirements. All right, so, but to sum it up, Zone Zero has been approved legislatively, okay? Which is why I said it's coming. And right now it's in draft, but phased enforcement timelines remain fluid. So originally, I believe they wanted to set a standard where by 2028, all homes and properties and structures in California conformed to these Zone Zero requirements, not just new builds or major remodels in the very high fire hazard severity zones. So that's why at some point, I do believe the entire state of California essentially is going to be searching for answers on Zone Zero, which is why I decided to create this channel, this podcast, and do some other things. I have yet to create a subreddit for people to be able to come and have discussions as a community. But I did just launch a free school community to help kind of organize and centralize the information and provide a forum for people to come and talk, right? Come and, you know, complain, get things off their chest, and perhaps collaborate and find constructive ways to move forward. So, you know, Zone 0 still matters strategically. It represents a paradigm shift, right? The old thinking was, you know, clear the brush away within 100 feet of your home. But now the new thinking is harden the structure, right? That's another phrase you're gonna hear about, and maybe there's some controversy around. Fire hardening, harden your home, right? Just off the top of my head, by the way, what does that look like? Roofing, siding, fences, gates, and landscaping, and decking. Those are gonna, and you know, with the, I'll say this too, with the siding or the roofing, the types of vents on your home. That's gonna be the major points of contention when it comes to construction and Zone 0. So, again, also too, what it specifically means? Class A non-combustible materials. So no more, if it's not Class A non-combustible, it's probably gonna need to be switched out. And as you can imagine, that's gonna be a lot of major work when it comes to, you know, because like how many homes out there have wood siding? Many. How many have landscaping that would need to be changed? How many wood fences and gates are there that are butted to your home within the first 5 feet? How many people are going to need to switch out their roofing? Now, roofing may have had a bit of a head start on this, but now it's regulatory compliance combined with insurance pressure on the market. So, yeah, that's basically it. To sum up here, you know, the big picture with Zone 0 is a legislative response to ember science, a retrofit wave waiting for full enforcement, and a structural hardening movement, not just landscaping compliance, right? It is the evolution from defensible space to ignition-resistant perimeter. All right, so that's it, guys. Once again, my name's Chris. This is Zone 0 California. Welcome to the channel. If you're listening on podcast, thank you for listening. We're gonna be doing a lot more content here coming out soon, so please go ahead and give us a subscribe. And if you have any questions, you wanna join the conversation, join our school group or go to zone0california.com for more information or to be put in touch with some qualified contractors in your area. Thank you.